Hello everyone, and welcome to my official ranking of all 7 seasons of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, this is my favorite show of all time, but some seasons are definitely better than others. There will be some major spoilers in this review, so if you don't want to get spoiled, it would be wise to click on this video now. Now, without further ado, let's get into the review. In last place is Season 6. While I don't dislike this season, I personally feel like this is definitely the weakest season. The weakest link in this season would definitely be the plot. The plot doesn't feel that well thought out, and it feels pretty rushed. It jumps around a lot and isn't very coherent. In fact, the best episodes in this season are the standalone episodes, which don't have much bearing on the overall plot. This season also has one of the weakest villains, if not the weakest villain in the whole show, as the villain doesn't get a whole lot of backstory. However, some things that I really love in Season 6 is Clark Gregg's portrayal of Sarge and his surprisingly interesting game. I also really loved how aesthetic the season is, especially in the space episode, as well as Deke's character arc. While the season has a lot to love about it, it does have its downsides, which puts it in last place in the ranking. In second last place is Season 1. This used to be my least favorite season of the show due to its very slow start and rather poor writing. However, upon my recent rewatch of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I actually enjoyed it quite a lot. While the story is definitely still slow to progress and it does have its fair share of rather cringe moments, I realized that I rather enjoy the team just working together just to solve some weird cases, as well as all the various MCU connections. Also, upon its halfway mark, the show almost does a complete 180 and starts pumping out some fantastic episodes, especially episode 17, Turn, 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 which could quite possibly be the best episode in the entire show. This season definitely has a bit of a rocky start, but it becomes a very solid season by its second half. In fifth place is Season 3. For me, the biggest highlight of this season has to be Grant Ward and his actor Brett Dalton. He was an absolutely fantastic villain with great motives and a very intimidating persona. Then his character transformation halfway through the season brought out the absolute best in him, changing from a loud and reckless guy hell-bent on revenge to Hive, who is the complete opposite, being quiet and cunning with a deadly plan, and is one of my favorite villains in the show. Another highlight of this season was Hydra once again, and especially its leader Gideon Malik, who were both very formidable opponents with a very scary plan. This season also introduced the anti-human and human group, the Watchdogs, and scientist Dr. Holden Radcliffe, who are both very interesting elements who are further explored in the next season. A downside to this season is that it's rather forgettable compared to other seasons, as well as an Inhuman who was introduced in the first episode of the season making regular appearances throughout the season, before completely disappearing for no reason whatsoever towards the end. All in all, this was a slight step down from Season 2, but it was definitely still really good, especially episodes 4,722 hours and the season finale. At fourth place is Season 2. For what it is, this season is very enjoyable. The plot between Daisy and her mum, and especially her dad, is a very interesting yet heartbreaking storyline and is one of the best parts about the season. Kyle MacLachlan, who plays Daisy's dad, delivers a spectacular performance throughout the season and is one of the best characters in the whole show. Speaking of Daisy, this is the season when she turns into Quake, which was handled amazingly, turning her into top 3 character in the show, as well as the introduction of Inhumans. Another highlight of this season are the villains. Hydra and its leaders such as Daniel Whitehall and Sunil Bakshi really steal the spotlight whenever it's on them, as they're such intimidating people who commit such heinous crimes such as brainwashing, torturing, and murdering. They have written and ingrained in the plot in such an amazing way, and Hydra is one of the best, most badass themes in the entire show. It's second only to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. soundtrack. One gripe I did have with this season is that the alternate S.H.I.E.L.D. subplot did feel pretty unnecessarily drawn out, which led to a bit of boredom in some episodes. Overall, however, this season delivered hard in a lot of ways, and combined with the huge Age of Ultron subplot, this was a great follow-up to Season 1. At spot number 3 is Season 4. This season is rather unique as it's spread into 3 episode arcs similar to the Clone Wars. These arcs include the Ghost Rider arc, the LMD arc, and the Agents of Hydra arc, before culminating in a truly epic finale. This season does start out a little slow, but it still has some really good episodes where the Watchdogs become a major threat. Gabriel Luna does a fantastic job at playing a great looking and very intimidating Ghost Rider, and Daisy gets some very nice character development early in the season as she deals with the death of a very close friend. This combined with the reintroduction of S.H.I.E.L.D. as an official organization makes for an excellent start to the season. Next comes the LMD arc, which is actually very intense, as certain members of the team have been replaced by robots and you don't know who to trust. This arc is handled very well, with surprises thrown at you left, right, and center. Then comes the final arc of the framework. This spans from episode 16 to episode 20, which are hands down the best episodes in the show and the best piece of media in existence. Everything about these episodes, ranging from character development, plot, villains, cameos, to the soundtrack, is just perfect. I would highly recommend just watching these previous seasons just to get to this Agents of Hydra arc. Then finally, all three arcs come together in an amazing final finale where Mallory Jensen, who plays the villain, does an truly exceptional job at playing the villain. This season was absolutely amazing, further uplifted by some truly great episodes, and there's almost nothing wrong with it at all. In the penultimate position is Season 5. This season is just perfect. There are no flaws at all that I could find on both my viewings. This season starts out with a shocking revelation that most of the team is now in space, in a future above a destroyed Earth. They then have to figure out how to get back to the present day to prevent this horrifying scenario from happening in the first place. The mystery of how this happens is such a cool plotline, as there are a lot of red herrings as to who caused the massive catastrophe. The characters introduced in the season are also really well written and acted, especially Enoch and Teague. The villains in the season are also incredibly interesting and varied, as well as being extremely well written. The soundtrack is also flawless, matching the time and mood set by the scene perfectly. Then the final episode has such a bittersweet yet perfect ending, as the writers thought they weren't going to get a season 6, so they decided to wrap up as many open plots as possible in the best way possible. Other than that, there's nothing else to say about the season apart from how amazing it is. Finally, in first place is Season 7. You may be surprised to hear that Season 7 actually has some rather large flaws, such as a rather average final villain and some weak side characters. However, the good far outshines the bad, and even surpasses the best of Season 5. One reason for this is just how well everything forms together as part of an overall plot. The season heavily relies on time travel as a plot device similar to Endgame. Because of this, the team explores different areas of the 20th century, which is fantastically done. The world building and CGI is incredible considering the relatively low budget the show was running on. This season also had some great callbacks from previous seasons, other Marvel properties, and just history in general. The acting in the season is also some of the best in the whole show, as well as the writing. Of course, I can't review Season 7 without mentioning how the ending is. The ending is just so well done and perfect that it's one of the best seasons of the show, as it pulls the door closed on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. while also leaving another door open for some of these characters to make another appearance in the MCU somewhere down the line. Well, that's it guys. All 7 seasons of this fantastic show ranked from worst to best. Of course, this is just my own opinion, you might have your own, but I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, a like and a sub would be greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, and may the force be with you. Goodbye.